This is day 190 of the Arukh HaShulchan OC. If you would like to sponsor an upcoming shir or more of the Arukh HaShulchan OC, please contact me directly. It would be very greatly appreciated. Today we're doing Siman Kuf Lamed Zayin Sivav through Siman Kuf Lamed Ches Ziv Gimel. Okay. V'imlo karak tisha psukim. No, you read 9 psukim. Avgav l'chil tzorach asara, and even the chadri need 10 psukim. Kamakam neves b'yev can't go shlosh psukim kol echad. So there are 3 psukim for each person. Ain't tzorach l'chzor because you have to go back and lay. Don't have to go back and lay again. The British report brings down the Grove says that no, you always need 10 psukim. And if you didn't read 10 psukim, everybody has to go back and lay it over again because you weren't yotze with a kriya of less than 10 psukim. Even though each kriya only got 3 psukim. The Shbura suggests in such situations that after the 3 aliyahs are done, read another 3 psukim without an olah, without a bracha, and that way, although you didn't have a bracha, an olah on that, you still read 10 psukim. I remember when I was down once in Bells for Shalom Zohar, Ufruf. So they're there for the Tochacha. As part of Parshat Tochacha, there's no Olah. They know most Ashkenaz shuls about Kurei takes that Aliyah, but there they don't, nobody takes the Aliyah. Some Ashkenaz shuls they don't call somebody up; he just goes up. Here nobody gets Aliyah; they just read it without an Olah. So there's a similar thing. Okay, but Arukh HaShulchan says you don't have to go back and read 9 below Garach, but this B'yev is no worse. The Parshas Vayova Amalek, when the Chatchila Kohen at Tisha, where you can read 9 Chatchila. Low time of the dig, it's not like as if you skip the pasuk. Shekasab that we wrote that so you have to go back and read again. The deal of Gam, if you skip the pasuk, it's both a Gam and the Kriyan could be a potential Gam in the Sefer Torah. But this is not like that. You read 9 compact pasukim. Because Rabbeinu Beis Yosef received out, I mean, Karo Pachas Mitisha, the less than 9 Kruim, so you can let us know because they have to go over again. Yesh Mishum Pepir Shatam. Those who say that its reasons, according to Mishum She'eno Magia, Shlosh Psukim Kol Echad. Right? Because you didn't get 3 psukim for each Olah. But according to this opinion, which is Magen Avraham, in Kor Shlosh Psukim, if each one read 3 psukim, Kigon Shepasuk Echad Kor Shnayim Akrim, such as one pasuk was doubled up, the Rishon read it 3 psukim, and the Sheni read one of his 3 psukim and 2 more, and the Shlishi read another 3 psukim. So even though there are only 8 psukim, but each Olah got 3 psukim. That's okay. Yotzu. That's Magen Avraham. Arukh HaShulchan doesn't like that. He says, to me, you came Masha has a Pachas Mitisha Psukim. Right? How is that called? Less, if you're learning that way, that the issue is whether each of the Kruim got 3 psukim, so that's not less than 9 psukim in that case. And there wouldn't be in that situation a reason for anybody to go back and lane, right? According to this opinion, there is no impediment that except that it should be no less than 3. You can answer okay, so there's a problem if you lane less than 9 psukim. But what's the problem? The problem is that one guy didn't lane 3 psukim. And that's why you, the Magen Avraham, suggests that if all 3 read 3 psukim, so then, even though it was 8 psukim in total, it's not a problem. But then Beis Yosef is not writing this correctly. You shouldn't say the issue is reading less than 9 psukim. The issue is each one getting less than 3 psukim. It's a different issue, right? And says, and of course, the only people who should have to go back and lane again, now like Beis Yosef says they have to go back and everybody has to go back, should be a person who got less than 3 psukim. So Arukh HaShulchan says no. It's not a question of 3 psukim for Elah. It's that a kriya of 9 less than 9 psukim is not called a kriya. It has no chalei shem kriya. Came with Shlon Asek Katzkos. It's not that according to Kos Chacham. Came by Dain Losi Kotor. Therefore, the Am remove Torah. V'lomer Kashem say Kashyet Yashlim HaShlishi on Shlosh Psukim. So the Shlishi should go make sure he gets up to 3 psukim, right? In other words, to make up that what's missing. Even already after his bracha. Still, if they already moved the Sefer Torah, on Mukash, even say Kash, so you have to go back and start from scratch. Mishnah Berurah explains that the Mechaber say about where each Ola got 2 psukim, and so it's really only 6. Only 6 psukim were read, but it was the 8 psukim altogether, such as the Shlishi read a pasuk from the Sheni before him, and I guess I don't know, still that's still makes 7. Not sure he gets up to 8, but anyway, whatever it is, even though he read each one read a pasuk which was already read. I guess the Sheni reads from the Rishon and the Shlishi from the Sheni. That we get from 8 psukim. Anyway, that's not good. He's not Yotze, and he has to go back to read over again. And some say he holds his Yotze with the Evid. Maybe that's it. Going to the brackets of the Arukh HaShulchan. Actually, before we get that, Mishnah Berurah says that I guess if they were mashlim, it's not considered bracha batola. It makes sense, right? Okay, so there's brackets. Gamel Yerabas because Meches Cholikav Argus Magen Avram Avram Shlora Dibrei Bush Shkas before Shkein Bush explicitly that we had shown Mashkas Magen Avram Mamodos. Evidence for a case Mamodos Ein Lamei Mikriya Shein Tamidis Marcus Mana Mikdash Veduk. That was not a permanent kriya. Okay, the Zayin Kosav Akoba Ma'aser B'Chazon Echad. So Ma'aser L'Tzon Ba'al Kairei Shekor Parshas Porah. He read Parshas Porah Pasak Hagera Gorbes Ocham. The Galal Sefer Torah Yashim Gomer. He wrote Sefer Torah in his place. They ran back to his place. Big Rebbe Al Davar. The rabbi was upset about that. From our local about Parsha. He didn't read the Parsha. From Bikil Lokrit said we didn't read. Shlomar Elep Remes Ba'alma. We only did like a hint. Because the Pascha B'Schila B'Rosh Parsha. And so they started over again from the beginning. And Kori Birch L'Banav Acharel. The Mafkir made another bracha. Mitam Rebbe, because of Rebbe, the rabbi, to come call Parsha, I teach more to Erev, and they finish the entire Parsha. Parsha's Porah, which I think is the longest of the 4 Parshas. Akal Shon. The Mishnah Berurah says that you start from the beginning of the Parsha if you messed up. Sharatim brings up because is not sure about that, but you have to start from the beginning. Okay, but says Arukh HaShulchan. V'neli davka mishum shepasak bager gar b'soicham. Adayin ikori dini taras apara lonis baru. Adayin, because ikori dini apara after that pasuk. The alon, see, later in that it says that when we touch the dead body should be purified. Im sien, if he completed Mein Chaimel Kelly. Afshul Gamaka Parsha, even though it's not the end of the Parsha as we read it, answer Chazal very close. You don't go back and read it again. Because that is implicit in what he says that we only mention Parsha's Par Beremes. The primary halachas of the mechatos, the Paradumuav, have not yet been clarified. It's partially because you skip the pasuk. If you skip the pasuk, you don't go back. I'm not sure what. I guess because it's maftir, it's not a problem. No, they skip the pasuk as long as you get the ikar parashas para. Okay. And any maftir of the Abra parashas or here. Imrak birech bracha achronim and these come miyad. You made a bracha achronim, then immediately remembered. Any sort of bracha, so you don't need a new bracha. V'les kam mirosh a parsha. Nor do you have to start from the end of the parsha. El mashlima kriya barach bracha achronim. You complete the kriya and make a second bracha achronim. That's what it has. Mishnah Cholak says those who argue. The rabbi, the argument is not compelling. So the Yevir Halacha says that by Parshas Modim, if you skip the ikar of that Yom Tov, you have to go back and read with a bracha both before and after your laning. The Sefer Shami Chagiga says, but the Ebed, if you remembered after you began the maftir, I guess means you have Torah. So you don't go back and you don't go back again. He just reads without a bracha. I'm not sure what without a bracha means in this case. The Shubur also writes that if you interrupted in the Ikar Chavas Hayom, Parsh Para, and Yom Tovim, Maftir, by Pesuki the Kor Musaf, you have to go back and read with a bracha over again. So skipping a pasuk is not a problem, but skipping the Ikar Inyan is a problem. Okay, Sif Ches. Ma'aseh b'Yom Shabbos Echad Chamoed. And once it's the story of the Shabbos Chamoed Sukkos. Shemaftir Kol b'Yom Hasheni b'Yom Shlishi. You should have read Chutz La'aretz. B'Yom Hasheni Yom Shlishi. Lo Karak b'Yom Hasheni. You only read b'Yom Hasheni. For a Gol Sefer Torah, the raid rolled up the Sefer Torah. Pasuk Echad Me'Agdolim. When the Gdolim Pasuk Shikar b'Yom Shlishi. B'Yom Shlishi below bracha milfanei machareh. Now make a bracha before and after, but you're reading Yom Shlishi. Yesh Chokim is that. Those who argue say it's not necessary. Mitam the Anam Bekin Bechibur Diarcha. Since we know the calendar, B'ikar Kriya Yom Shlishi, and the main Kriya is B'Yom Shlishi. I guess he holds that. Therefore, you have to maybe go back and read with a bracha. Yeshus Kim Dei Rishona. Those are agree with the first opinion. Mirasavei brachas lohakel. Therefore, Abi Shasfor near Kedas Chokim, even though it seems like the Chokim are right, you could create Yom Shlishi, you should have to go back with a bracha. Nevertheless, Koko came to Ein Zeh Shabbos Shachris. Shekarda Sedra, since it's not part of the Ika Kriya, therefore Ein Bezeh Chashosh Kach, it's not as much of a concern. Therefore, you go back, but without a bracha. Mishnah writes, like the Yesh Chokim, they have to go back and make a bracha and read Yom Shlishi. What happens, says Mishnah, if you read Yom Shlishi and skip Yom Sheni, then obviously if you go back and read Yom Sheni, but without a bracha. Okay. Test. Davar baruch shekol echad me'olim tzarich likros hapsukim acherim mashikora kodmi. It's clear that whoever gets an has to read the psukim than the person who preceded him. Okay, if that was the case, let me tell Chazal b'tainis. Why Chazal may have b'tainis l'gabi ma'amodos in terms of the ma'amodos in Meseches Tainis. Why do they have problem in Meseches Tainis? L'gabi ma'amodos in terms of the ma'amodos, which were the kriyas which had time in the Beis Hamikdash. Shekorim parshas Bereishis. Why are they concerned there? Echad parsha she'ein bo shisha psukim. How does this body parsha that doesn't have 6 psukim? Yikra echad v'char kach sheni. Read the same parsha twice. Avoid any moil. Obviously, it's not effective. The yit leis possess surah. True, it's not forbidden. Kokol mina kriyim ein a choser over. Nevertheless, in terms of the number of people of Galilee, the person going back over us, what he said, he doesn't count. V'adim chol moed sukkos be'parei chag choser. Hi, in Chol Moed Sukkos, we read the same thing over again in the Parei Chag. You should go side bavach. We have no choice. Shein l'kol kriyim makam l'kros k'yadua. There's not enough room to add on. Now, mikorim mashkor arisha mostly v'aleim od shlosh psukim. But if you read what the first one read and you add another 3 psukim, mashrish l'kor that the first one didn't read, but by the aluminium, certainly that works. Shafilo l'sip rak shnei psukim ole. Even only it's 2 psukim works. Wow. Rosh Chodesh, I was saying, okay, because on Rosh Chodesh we do that. But Levi, Shemaskil B'Amarto, we start B'Amarto Shekora Kohen, we read over the one pasuk which the Kohen already said. Most of it, Shnei Psukim, we had 2 or more psukim. Av a pasuk Echad Lo Mani, but one pasuk is not enough. You have to have specifically 2 new psukim, not 1. To mean a row Me'ashlosha, it's got a majority of 3 psukim. The Gam Zeh Rakel Mokum Atchak, it's only a place where we have no choice, like on Rosh Chodesh. The Chil should not begin, include that which already somebody read, even if you add a lot. Also, that which we wrote, that there's no Isser to go back, right? Not everybody agrees. Those people forbid altogether. These barbers, so we come explain later on. The Sharat Sion doesn't agree with that. He says if it's not oil mina kruim, it is mutal chatchila according to the Mechaber Usin Reish Pei Beis, but it says according to Ramah, perhaps you should be machmer. Okay, we'll get to there. We'll get to there. It's a show. Simukuf Lamaches. Shleska Pachas Mishlosh Psukim. Don't begin less than 3 psukim. Samach le parsha before the end of a parsha. Don't end with less than 3 psukim left in the parsha. Av Amr Chazal Mungila Dakar Batar Leishar Parsha Pachas Mishlosh Psukim. You shouldn't leave less than 3 psukim in the parsha. In other words, Klomar. Shaloy is saying Pachas Mishlosh Psukim Samach le Psucha Stuma. Shouldn't end more than less than 3 psukim adjacent to an open part, the end of an open or closed parsha. Open meaning where when you finish writing on that line, you leave the rest of the line blank. Stuma means when you leave from the point where you finish 9 letters and then start over again. Tom, the reason is because people left. Ozi based on Knesset. Shlish Mukama Yikra Ola Achrov. They want to hear what the Ola after him is going to read. Mishakor Achrov Lokor Rak Shnei Psukim. Parsha. They're going to say, oh, must be next. I only read 2 Psukim to the end of the Parsha. Then paragraph. Akav Shein and Nochel. Let's say space Kriyas HaTorah. Hi, they should not have left during the Kriyas HaTorah. It's their fault for having left the premises. They were concerned they should be in Gavra Gavra Mutzatzeis. Because between Aliyahs, you're allowed to go out. In Tzach L'Kach, you need to do so. Come on, you should try to cover such as to defecate. Lama Yamruke. Why would they say this? They should Yamru Lama Lo Kra Kodem Atzo Parsha. They would say, why did the previous order read to the end of the Parsha? Must be that he left the rest of the Parsha to the gets Aliyah after him. You call me Parsha Cheres, because they that after him reads from another Parsha. Have a claim because it's a Parsha, then the first guy should remain until the end of the Parsha. So that's the second guy's only going to read 2 psukim. Mashishim Chumoshim Shlishi V'chulei Ein Zeh Parsha. Right, that's Chumoshim, we have Rishon, Sheni, Shlishi, etc. That's not to do the Parsha. That's just random places, so to speak. Parsha means Parsha Psucha, Parsha Stuma, where there's a gap, paragraph. The Shabur writes that it's best to be nizar even with the Sheni, Shlishi, Revi, etc. paragraphs. Speak Kiddush. We take those into account, and we adding, I guess, to go Sophos. So don't stop less than 3 psukim before the Sheni, or maybe you want to modify the Aliyah. I don't know. So anyway, not less than 2 psukim before the Aliyah, not just for the end of the paragraph. Based the Chen Lo Yisayim Akor Pachas Shlosh Psukim Mirosha Parsha. You shouldn't end less than 3 psukim from the beginning of a parsha. Avagav Shkar Harbeimi a parsha Godemet. And you read much from the previous parsha. The Talmud reasons that Shumanich Nasim Achar Sheskil because of Achar, because people who come in only after the next Galia comes. V'yishma'u shemaskil shnei psukim achar parsha. They hear him starting 2 psukim after parsha. V'yamar shakorim lo karak shnei psukim elu. They say the previous one only read these 2 psukim. These are the shakorim ya parsha kodemes. If we're going to say that he read from the previous parsha, he must have read 3 psukim. Shem Misharim Shnei Psukim, Samach La Parsha, because you don't leave 2 psukim till the end of the parsha. What's Sif Alf? Can't Lamayel cross Shnei Psukim Parsha Zu. So I have to read 2 more psukim in this parsha. Father Shlokar also Shnei Psukim. Must he only read those 2 psukim? Akshem Simon, it's a parsha, but you end with a parsha. I forgot that parsha ain't a rak Shnei Psukim. Even the parsha was only 2 psukim. Come, it's a chashash. It's not a problem. Shemru, you'll see that the people who left was Yomru. The people after that person after him, the afterwards, he's only read the 2 psukim of this small parsha coming up. To be achricham, no marking. Who's going to come out to say this? Hello, ain't rohim shinui cloud. They don't see anything going on. It's fishy. Came what you see him. It's a parsha. Since he finished with a parsha. Vote in front of him about korchach. We're compelled to say there's no problem with this. She parshas pekudah are bay parshas besofa. And parshas pekudah, there are many parshas, which I, of course, never noticed, because in our Chumashim, usually they're not distinguished. Sharei, or very slightly. Shein, shel rakshash nei psukim. Gam yisham parshas shel pasuk echad. I show them this is a parsha 1 pasuk. Yisham being acher. So, if you're going to be makbir in this, it's not possible. There's a way to do with that pekudah. L'chein lo shav was a chashash, l'chein a minhag ha-poshet. Therefore, there's no chashash of finishing at the end of a parsha, even though the next parsha has 2 psukim in it. It's not a problem. The Mishnah Berurah says some people are machmir that in this case that you shouldn't do this except by Rishab Kriyas Rosh Chodesh, where Yom HaShabbos has 2 psukim, the first Lishi. Sharatzian said elsewhere it's appropriate to be Chodesh Chayshish the Chatchila. I guess you would say the end of Pekudei is not laying down on Monday or Thursday, so there wouldn't be an issue. I don't know. Okay. In brackets, the Arukh says V'dash Atayis Kam Rishonim Shikshu Amash Onu Maschilin Be'an Tzibur Mi Vayechal. Probably see V'sar Vayechal Shu Shnei Psukim Parsha. It's two psukim into the parsha. V'chein B'kraft and B'chol HaMoed Pesach. Tzorchim. It's one Shul Vayechal. Why are psukim Parsha? So Arukh HaShulchan doesn't understand the question of Tosfos because in our Svarim it's 4 psukim into the parsha. V'gam B'kraft and Shlosha psukim parsha. 3 psukim into the parsha. So I have to say, should some of the Shnei Psukim Pasuk Echad? Some of the, what we have 2 Psukim, they only have 1 Pasuk. Which because Kedushin Laman Amav Ein Sham. Sefer Torah ain't by Hefsek Psukim. Obviously, the Sefer Torah has no Hefsek Psukim. So Rak Chomashim Fasim. So when you print the Chomashim, ain't Kilkum Bezeh. So there's no significant nafkamina if you have a spot, if you parse it as 2 or 4 Psukim, at least in terms of halacha. Kimli Tavasim Shnei Psukim Achar Parsha. What if you made a mistake? You added 2 psukim after the end of a parasha, or some of a parasha, 2 psukim before a parasha. If I bear a bracha achorina, and you made a bracha achorina already, ain't so the cross, you don't go back and lean again. The akshal korak shnei psukim sha'avar ikad. It's only when you read specifically 2 psukim. Sha'avar ikad takonos of the Ezra, where you're over on the ikad takon of Ezra. Tzarich la'azor because you have to go back over again. But here we're only concerned because of lies. What people say, ain't so you don't have to go back again. Come nevertheless, parasha. If a person comes after, it should begin from the beginning of the parsha. Or leave something before the end of the parsha, whatever is appropriate, in order that those 2 psukim should not be stand on their own. Those say the gam zayin tzarich. You don't have to do this either. Like Tati Lama, don't know why not. Came and Shem Shem said attack, so you can fix it. Maybe it's because going back a pasuk from that which the first person read. It's not prohibited. We can remove ourselves from the problem Chazal point out why it should be a problem. And therefore, he says also, whatever evidence the Rabbah brought for his position is not compelling. Mishnah Pura says, if it is 2 psukim after the parsha, you shouldn't start, the shouldn't start from the beginning of the parsha, but from the place where the first one ended. Which argues on the Arukh HaShulchan. Says you will go back. Might not be Machmar Arukh HaShulchan, but that's a machlekes in the Rabbanan, so therefore you could probably be lenient like the Mishnah Berurah if that was necessary.